Nathan and Riley and our translator noticed that some guys were over on the edge of a little ravine thing sitting there, and one of the guys had crutches. So we walked up to them and asked if there's anything we could pray for him for, and he said his legs. And when we prayed for him, he said that he started feeling a warmth spreading through.
One moment was when we were praying for a lady's baby, and she just said it's the first time anyone's ever reached out to her or her baby, and she just said she knows that her baby's going to be healed because she trusted in God.
When I was praying for a little girl, and she felt like she had like ants crawling in her hands, and I prayed with her for that. Then once I was done, I asked her how she felt. She said all the pain was gone.
Carlos is a 4-year-old that I got to meet last year at the Funda Niños orphanage. The first thing that I heard when we got to the orphanage today was that Carlos wasn't going to be at the orphanage for very much longer because he had been adopted. So
we were just walking around doing home visits, and then some random guy came up to us screaming and yelling at us. He wanted us to pray for him. He got on the ground on his knees and put his head to the ground, and we all prayed for him in the circle. He said he asked God to send people, and we were those people.
After some home visits, we started to ask people if they knew Jesus and if they were to die today, where they were going. So I asked the lady that, and I was given the opportunity to pray the salvation prayer with this lady. That's just something special to me.
And I looked down at his shoes, and they were like Crocs, and they were falling apart. They didn't really fit. They were dirty, and they looked like they were gonna just fall off his feet. And like it just hit me like right then, because I had brought shoes, you know, to give to kids. The look of joy that like all of a sudden came into his eyes when he like stepped down and on those new shoes, and they like lit up. It was really hit me hard.
And come to find out that his hearing, he was almost deaf in both ears, and there was just pressure. As we were praying, instantly he just started grabbing his ears and like clicking his jaw and making noises, and the interpreter told me that he said while we were praying for him, just his ears opened up and air rushed in, and it was just one of the coolest experiences to just be a part of, God healing somebody.
And then when we asked for prayer, there was a little kid that came up, and he just had been having a lot of chest pains, and I felt really bad for him. So when me and PJ started praying for him, all of a sudden we just got down, and we asked him if he was okay, and he said it was all better now, and he just had the biggest smile on his face, and it was the greatest thing in the world.
When I met this little kid named Jeremy, and he was just like really happy to see me, and it was good that I was a joy in the kid's life.
And she got our food, went and set it down, and came back and had her arm around me for the next like 30 minutes. And when I went to leave, she said, are you my friend? But she said it in Spanish, and I said, yeah. And she just smiled really big. And it just really hit home, like this is why we're here.
I feel like the projects, like painting and other stuff that we did for their buildings, leaves a lasting impression and helps them remember us and who we were and what we came for on this trip.
God can use me, that I'm 14 and I'm actually on a missions trip in Guatemala, and I am doing things for God, that He is using me to do things.
This lady and her 2 little kids, their dad was abusive, and when we got done praying with them, I bent down and gave them a hug, and they just held on to me so tight, and I just felt like they needed to know that they were loved and needed a long hug, and to know that God does love them.
I think I just enjoy when God has worked on your heart with something and you can see the evidence of change. And for me, being on a missions trip is a really big deal because my heart for people is totally different than it used to be. And I had a moment today when I was holding a little kid on my back, and I realized that his dirty little hands were all over my face and hair, and it didn't bother me one bit. And I just loved loving on him.
I've had thousands of individual moments with each one of the youth this past week, and every one of them has something amazing to offer. And I think that if you don't already personally know the youth of FCOC, you need to take the time to get to know them, because I don't feel like we give them enough credit for their abilities and their God-given talents.
We brought food to people that were hungry. We loved people that needed a hug. And we went into people's homes and brought a bed, closets, met needs that they wouldn't have had otherwise. You know, Jesus said, as you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. And I think that's what we came here to do, and I think that we did what we set out to do. Watching God move through our young people, watching the miracles that you read about in the Bible happen before your eyes, and watching the miracle of love and meeting people's daily needs. It's the best way I know to describe it. It was a good trip. It was a God trip, and for all the people that helped, we want to say thank you.